All right. Tonight we are coming live from the Outer Banks in three, two, one.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to episode 172 of the Guardian Up podcast, where we talk Destiny, interview Sin from the road, and talk about our love of the game. How's everyone doing tonight? We have Kingsley and Des in studio, and Sin on the road.
From the road, live with Kill Devil rum and some moonshine and 2 bags of ice that just walked in the door by a sister-in-law. Other than that, I have sandy feet and quite magical tonight and full of cigar smoke.
And what a vacation this is, where Sin is more active in the community and podcasting and everything than normally when he's home.
Hey, real life takes a priority when I'm home, and that's usually work, home, gaming, and all other aspects. Now I have the time I can actually spend with shenanigans with the Discord.
I suppose, but then what's going to happen next week? Back to not much of Sin during the day? Probably.
Sources say yes on this one.
Okay. And I'm sure we've had the normal amount of tests in the Discord. How have you been, man?
I was good up until like 5 minutes ago, and then my allergies decided to try and kill me. But
Why you muted, maybe?
Yeah, I was hacking up a lung over here. But yeah, no, otherwise I'm fine. Yeah, it's just, oh boy. All right. Well,
It's
they decide
okay.
to hit. Boy, they decide to hit.
Yeah, don't worry. We don't care about allergies or coughing or whatever on this podcast. If it happens, it happens. Of course, mute. We always try to mute.
Highly unedited and unstructured.
Yeah, I guess.
We're doing it raw.
Are you saying you want us to cough all the time, Sin, and you have to cut out every single one?
That's a no, dog.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
That's good advice, Drafty. Thank you. You can hack up one lung, but just don't hack up both. It's fair.
Good point. Shout out to Drafty in the chat and a few other people we have listening live. Again, if you want to join us, typically we record Thursday nights around 9 p.m. Eastern. And that would be 6 p.m. Pacific.
I'm surprised you didn't pull out the Eastern God's time, as Gator would like to put it.
And 8 p.m. Central. Just covering all the bases.
Doing the math, so you don't have to, unless you live in the UK, and we apologize.
True, yeah. I think we've had people listen in from other areas. Oh, we for sure have. We've had Helios at times, and Mojafo, and shout out to everyone who listens in live.
All of our abroad fan base.
Yes. All right. Well, we have some interesting things to talk about, and we have some business. So I just wanted to start there first. First item of business, we have a couple new ambassadors / mods that are part of the Guardian Hub Discord. Shout out to Cato. Cato's been around forever, and he is a newly minted ambassador in the Guardian Hub. And shout out to RNG Gator. He's our, I guess you'd say, honorary community member, but he very happily joined as an ambassador when I asked him the other day. So shout out to RNG Gator also.
Yeah, GG's, guys. Welcome aboard.
Indeed.
Can Can I ask somebody in the community, maybe Nalsey, if he listens to this, to draw a picture of Kato with his big old hands, put a cowboy hat on him, smoking a Marlboro Black, and with a little sheriff icon, like on a shirt or something, like a little caricature? That would be cool.
Yeah, I suppose because he's an ambassador, so now he's kind of like a sheriff or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kato, did you hear that? Do you want say? You can say you don't agree to that. we called out the new ambassadors. Congrats, Kato and RNG Gator. So I forget when you hopped in live. So, but anyways, so that's one item of business, and then another item of business. We have something coming up in the month of August, and we will write out details in the Discord too. But we can just give you a very TLDR of what's happening. Des, as much as you want to explain, pass it over to you.
Fantastic. Yes, as teased last week, we have a thing going on. Why does it remind me of a song? In here. So, we want like 2 things from people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we want like 2 things from people. We want a couple things from
we're
people.
very needy.
We are needy right now. Let's see if I can find it, because I know I dropped, you know what? Screw it. It can't be... Yes, we are collected and professional. Just, making sure everyone knows that.
Hey, I like rolling on the fly.
So, exactly. All right. So, step 1. This is like, this step is potentially like, we'll call it a quantity over quality, right? You can toss lore questions at us. You know, as you do. You can just, toss a bunch of lore questions at us, and that's going to be like drawing number 1. And like I said, it's going to be kind of like a raffle. If I get the gist of everything, all of that right, more lore questions you get, the chances you got.
And this is for when, right? August? Yeah, let's just say the whole month of
We'll
August.
say August.
That sounds good.
Yeah. We'll say August. Yeah. Sounds good. But then there's another side, right? There's a different side, like a whole different side. It's like a coin, right? You gotta love the way I like explain things on the fly.
Great.
Just remember, is one of my filler words. All right. Just don't mind that. But either way, second phase is essentially like, where do you hope to see this story going, right? Like,
Yeah.
what are the beats you like want to see? And I'm thinking personally for this one, which I think would be far most interesting, is basically like the story lead in to the next expansion, right? Like, what's going to lead us into? Oh God, what is it? Lightfall? That's coming next. That's right.
Yeah, Lightfall. So I guess we may know a little bit on August 23rd. So get those in before, or I mean, you can still say stuff, right? But stuff that they're not showing us obviously would give you better chances of winning. Yeah, which I'm getting ahead of yourself of how you'll grade that one.
No, you're good. You're good, because that's one reason I want to go into like leading into Lightfall, because we're going to find out some stuff. Like, we might potentially find out like the general idea of Lightfall. But the one thing they aren't going to tell us is how we are going to be led into Lightfall. They're not going to spoil like 2 seasons worth of story to get us there. So I feel like that's a safe buffer area for like story hopes and story lead-ins, essentially, and what you would like to see. Because again, we're not going to get like the full picture, and even if you do, I mean, again, that's kind of like a wide area, So yeah, I feel like that's the safest. I feel like that's the safest bet. So yeah,
excellent.
So those entries are quality over quantity. I still haven't really come up with a decent judging method, I may not even have a planned judging method, but apparently you're all going to be the victim of my whims on this one. So,
yeah. Sin and I do not have any say on any of this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, yeah, interesting story tracks are going to be going through me, and I will be judging them. I may not even come up with a distinct, like, judging what I'm judging for. I just might find the most interesting. Who knows?
Can you be
It's
bribed?
not going to be random. No. I won't be bribed. I will be as impartial as I can, and judging, of course, things by the quality of the submission itself, rather than the individual. So no favoritism. But yeah. So yes, one entry, which is your lore questions. Again, quantity over quality. Shoot them in. Get some raffles in. Get a thing. Try your luck.
Do it.
It's like roulette. And then number 2, quality. We want some good stuff. We want some good stuff.
Thanks for your input, Sin. But yeah, and we will be, we're not sure of the amount yet, but there will be 2 prizes awarded out, one for each that Des mentioned. And thanks to Patreon supporters, we have some money to give away, probably in the form of Amazon gift cards. And that information will be out later. But again, 2 different awards. You could potentially win both if you were lucky with the first one and had a really good idea for the second. But get in those entries, like Des said, especially for lore questions.
Indeed.
Well, that sounds fun. Yeah, we'll get that. We'll get something right up in the Discord. Now, for whoever listens to the podcast. Oh, and where should they, for now, unless you hear otherwise, let's get them in the lore channel? Obviously. Right? Lore Talk?
Yes, for sure. Lore Talk is, it's a peaky channel. It can hit some highs, but it mostly has some lows. So that's a channel we can hijack for this entire extravaganza, some might say. So yeah. Get like everything in there. We could probably come up with some kind of funny tag or something.
Yeah, to make sure people know what they're entering for, right? But we'll figure it out. Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, that's our thing, and it's happening, and it's a thing that we want you to participate in for fun.
Oh God, another channel, Cato. I mean, maybe, but we'll see.
No, Cato, stop it. Who do you think we are, GDC?
We can use tags and we can use differentiations in a single channel. We're having to make another channel.
Right?
Yeah,
like create a specific hashtag or something or whatever. Something I can search in the search tool and boom, there's your questions. Again,
exactly.
We aren't other people. We know how to use this technology.
Well, most of the time. Sometimes Discord is weird.
Well, yeah, it's fair. My shots are done now. Probably, maybe. Who knows? Might have some more in me later. Who knows?
Yeah. So while we're at it, let's just remind everyone we do have a Patreon, and no worries, you do not need to join it. But if you join it, by the way, you can go to our website, theguardianhub.com, and click on Support Us. And one reason why you may want to join it is because you get a special private channel in the Discord, and you get some extra benefits, such as potentially renaming one of the admins or whoever you want in the Discord. Well, admins, let's put it that way, unless someone else agrees to it. And but also, all we ask is, right now we may have different levels down the road, but it's just pretty much just $5 a month, and you get all those benefits. Plus, you're helping support paying for our hosting, our bots, and these little contests that are coming up. So we much appreciate it. If you cannot afford to join the Patreon, no worries. and this will continue to be a free podcast. And pretty much everything we're doing is open to everyone. It's just the Patreon's a little extra thing if you feel like supporting us.
Indeed. Because again, like I said before, the only benefit Patreons had was just a little extra thinking time on this contest.
Yeah. That is true.
So everyone has the fair chance. But there's that slight advantage that who knows if any of them actually took advantage of. I don't know. I tossed it out there. But yeah. Oh, God. Fantastic, Kato. Fantastic.
No, you don't need to think of anything, Cato. You're just part of the people that help support it.
Right.
Okay. Well, we'll get those going soon. I don't know if we have any other immediate items of business, so we can move into what have we been doing. Des, I want to start with you. Destiny or other games? Anything notable you've been playing the last week or doing in game?
Oh, geez, I haven't been doing much of note. I'm just going to say that. I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff. I mean, I kind of lost internet for a little bit, but don't worry, it's coming back. But that's fine because I was kind of meh on Solstice. So I'm not really losing anything as long as we can get things back before it's over. Then I'll be fine. But as long as I have like even just a few days,
Yeah.
I really don't see me like hard grinding anyway. So, like I said, nothing super lost.
All right. So yeah, I haven't done too much of Destiny either, but
Right.
Sin, first, anything interesting? You have some things to announce in Destiny.
I think I have quite a few things to announce. This week was I've been talking about it for the last few weeks. The Vow of Disciple raid title, you needing the Caretaker Challenge. I did finally LFG it and get it done. Been logging in mostly every day while here on vacation with the laptop. Internet's kind of crappy. Of course, I may sound a little different with the Bluetooth headset, but I got that done. But was able to knock out the Reaper title and grind out the last few of the containment ritual events there. And I actually did a few GMs with soccer and Metal Giles the other night. 3 GMs we knocked out. Let's see, what else? I feel like there's more. I'm missing it. But it just feels like I've done a bunch. And those were really the most difficult ones there, just getting those done. I did finish the Solstice title for Flamekeeper as well. I've not gilded it yet, but will be done with that. Yes, thank you, Lady Sin. The sword from the dungeon. I was able to get that the other night. For me and Salt both, it popped that one run.
Nice.
You've been playing Destiny more than vacationing. Got it.
Yeah. Between it's Destiny, pool, and Destiny and dinner and food and drinking, all of it.
Yeah. And this week hasn't been as interesting to me, Destiny-wise. I always log in at reset, or if I'm not doing a remote job or out doing a job, but at least sometime shortly on Tuesday to see what's going on. There wasn't too much in the store. It's the last weekly seasonal challenge, week 10, and there's only 3 things to do this week. I worked on that a little bit. I crafted a haunted weapon. It was a previous week's challenge. I just ended up doing the rocket launcher because that one's bump in the night because that one is super easy to get the red frames from. You just take it into containment and within a phase or 2 you have it done. So I bought the last 2 that I needed to get 5 of those and just crafted a basic version of it. Down the road maybe I'll spruce it up with the enhanced perks, auto loading or Vorpal or chill clip or whatever I want on it. And but it was mostly to get one of the seasonal weekly challenges done. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll craft something again. It's been a while. Right. And hopped in a Vow of the Disciple raid and still looking for the exotic there. I have over 50 runs. Of course, they're not all counted. A lot of times there are multiple character same week or pickup groups or things like that. But it's okay because, most of the time I get the raid exotics fairly easy within 20 runs or so. And this one's not like super exciting right now. And I know I'll get it eventually. And I raid so much that it's no sweat on my shoulders at all. But it is kind of funny. The two things this season I'm missing, well, for several seasons now, I'm missing that raid exotic for the Val the Disciple raid. But also, I haven't been able to find an elusive 1570 helmet to get Pinnacle Cap on my Warlock. And admittedly, I haven't been trying that hard. There's plenty of Pinnacle sources I miss out on each week. But it is still kind of funny that I still probably hit at least 3 to 5 or more. That's probably like the minimum because I usually raid once a week, like Vow or something. So that's like 4 chances there, or what? Well, I guess I know it's not a helmet every time, but still, my point is, it's still kind of funny. Even I don't have that yet, so hopefully I'll get that in the next few weeks before the season's over, and then I can reset again. Yay!
So you're what, like 7 years late, but you're finally feeling Forever 29.
Yes, I'm forever
That was the
1569.
yeah. That was the issue for so many people, was the helmet from Atheon on hard mode.
Yeah. Although they're probably, again, trying harder than me. Like this week was, I think, the first and only time I got the Pinnacle for the 3 strikes this whole season, because I've done a strike or two. Well, there was maybe one other time I did the 3 strikes. Funny enough, I've been doing more Crucible this season, mostly just the weeks where it's like Mayhem or
Banner.
Banner. Yep, Banner, of course. That's right. So Banner had plenty of opportunities too, and I didn't get a helmet there either. Well, it might have been before I was at 69 or 70.
Probably.
But anyways, it's okay. We're getting closer. Today, as we record, it's the 28th, and our new season is coming up August 23rd. And there's a lot that's going to be happening on that day.
There's a lot happening on the 23rd.
Yes, and we'll know several things, and then one of those things leads into something that's going to be happening on the 26th, also, which I guess could be part of the TWAB if we want to go into that.
Real quick, I did forget to mention Fubla was there when Salt and I got the exotic. He was calling me out in chat, and I did not want to miss him. So thank you.
Hey, thank you for letting us know. No, shout out to you. Yeah, so we have some interesting things in the TWAB, so we definitely should go over some of those.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. You don't want to? I will.
No, this is a touchy subject, and I have a very different take on this subject than the rest of the community at large. And by that, I mean the vocal minority on Twitter. I have years of experience on this subject, and my stance has changed 0% in those years. So, let's talk TWAB.
Let's talk.
All right. So, first and foremost, raid date. They're not telling us what it is. Surprise. It's redacted. But we will know the 23rd, right?
Yeah. Yes. That's one of the many things we are going to find out on the 23rd.
Yes, we are finding out the 23rd what the raid is. King's Fulton. More than likely. Still hoping for the other, but come on. But yes, it is redacted. It will go live. We know when it goes live. It will go live 10 a.m. Pacific on August the 26th. 3 days.
Which is a Friday. Yeah, and only 3 days later.
3 days after the season starts. But of course, to be fair, it's actually not that difficult of a thing, because just like whenever they reintroduced Vault, you've got to jump through hoops like a circus monkey in order to get that day one clear. Contest mode. Everyone's favorite thing ever. Contest mode. Will be active for the first 24 hours. You will need to be 1560 power to be at cap for all of the encounters. That's actually not too bad, because I think, 1560 is not even our current cap, right? Because it's 1570 is cap.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's actually really good.
So unless you haven't played at all for the last several seasons, you're probably already there.
Yes. I mean, good lord, even if you played as little as me, you can hit 1560. I mean, come on. I say as little as me, but okay, moving on. Yes, but clearing the raid with contest mode active will be step 1, just like Vault, whereas after step 1, you will have to beat the challenge mode. And just to make sure you're following, doing the challenges, if you miss a requirement for challenge mode or you fail a challenge, you will wipe and have to do the encounter again. Everyone's favorite thing. So yeah, that's the raid. When it's coming, and I'll probably be avoiding it for the first 24 hours. Just saying.
Yes, I officially kind of made a decision this time, and maybe something will change, but I kind of was thinking I don't even care to try the first day. Yes, it'll be super exciting if it's Wrath, but I can wait a day and I'll feel much happier going in more chill with a group of buddies on Saturday and actually have a fighting chance of getting it done in one 24-hour period or however long we happen to want to be in it versus on Friday and maybe getting through an encounter or two and getting stressed and upset with each other and blah, 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 and all this stuff. So, yeah.
Right. I might be waiting till Monday. Just saying. Because I know for Vault, they extended challenge mode until it got beaten. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I hope it does. But yeah, assuming challenge mode does stay at the 24 hours, that's why I was saying Saturday. Hopefully can hop in Saturday.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's that. Like I said, Monday will probably be my earliest attempt at taking a crack at this returning raid. Which is probably going to be King's Fall, but we're of course all hoping for Wrath.
This is hilarious. This has been this little saying's been very stretched out, and it will be stretched out until the 23rd now.
Exactly. Hey, we have an end date of how long this joke is going to run. Okay. the end is in sight.
Yes.
Less than 30 days. Just saying. All right. So here's the fun part. Matchmaking. This extraordinarily fun topic that I, again, am at kind of a polarizing consensus. The TLDR, essentially, though, Season 18, they are going to be introducing loose, skill-based matchmaking into a few Crucible playlists. Maybe a few, maybe one. Who knows? I actually didn't catch exactly which ones are going to go for it. But they are going to be starting to implement loose, skill-based matchmaking
in just Control at first.
Okay, it's Control at first, but I do know they are going to be widening that out.
Oh yeah.
Will there be connection-based playlists? Who knows? It would be cool if they kept some kind of playlist for connection-based, but it has always been my idea that yes, especially if you're someone looking to get better in PvP and looking to improve or stay better or whatever, your best learning advantage is going to be in skill-based matchmaking. Drafty does ask a roundabout interesting question. Loose matchmaking. So does that mean a guarantee score at closing time? Maybe. But no, loose skill-based matchmaking. They don't want to go pure skill-based matchmaking, because that's going to take way too long. Basically, part of the TLDR of this entire conversation, which is it's a very huge part of this. This is actually like a meaty twab. with this part, I had to skim through a bunch of it. But I do get, like I said, just because of conversations in the past and now, I do get a lot of it. But they're going to be trying to find like that sweet spot between skill-based and connection-based. They don't want to go pure like skill for skill, because again, we might get 10, 15, 20-minute matchmaking times just for a Crucible match, and nobody wants that. So they want probably, I think they said the most, like around like a 5-minute at most matchmaking time, essentially, maybe topping out at 10. Actually, no, 10 was bad. Anyway, yeah. So definitely a sub 10 matchmaking time, but still they want to start grouping people of closer skill together. Because again, like, new lights, if you're brand new to a shooter and hopping into this game, and the current state as the Crucible is right now, it is highly possible, just based on your connection, to match against someone like True Vanguard or Cami Kicks or all these other Crucible wizards that's going to pop your head off in about 15 blue million ways before you even know where they're coming from. It can happen.
Okay.
But yeah.
And
So
what am I missing with you saying having a different opinion?
because I am pro skill-based matchmaking 1000%.
Oh, well, I feel like most of us in these communities are. It's the
No,
it's the streamers and the
No, yeah. That's why I did separate the vocal minority in part of that, because
gotcha.
that's where I've butted heads with people a lot. Is like the people on Twitter essentially, and yes, you have your your top 1% guys that I don't want to sweat every match. Well, sorry, either stay good or get out. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah.
But no, for the majority of the population, skill-based matchmaking just makes sense, right? I mean, that way you're not going to feel awful. They go in depth. The fact that they're already like tracking essentially skill ratings for people, and those skill ratings essentially are your end of game results, like what you get points for in the Crucible game. I mean, a lot of what I've read is basically the same stuff that they're tracking into this skill rating that they are. Of course, it's Bungie, so they're the source, so they're going to have like the purest of numbers on this. But essentially, they have the bell curve. They have all these like skill readings on people based upon not only your kills, your deaths, assists, but also things like capturing objectives, and all this, that, and the other. So there's a whole bunch of statistics and science that are going into this, and they're definitely like using these numbers to their fullest capacity, or at least we'll be trying to find a good sweet spot. Exactly like Cato said, trying to lower skill disparity. So again, there's a bunch of good reads in here, but some of their goals, things that they're going to be looking at as they tune these things are things like matchmaking times. They want to keep the average under 2 minutes and under 4 minutes for 95% of players.
No one will complain about that, right? And then
right, that's not bad.
Yeah, and then I mean, I think this sounds in theory pretty darn good. I mean, people can be like, okay, it's past 4 minutes. We're probably just going to have to match with whoever. But then that's better than not getting anyone, right? I mean, exactly. I guess you could just leave at that point, and then there might get a lot of people leaving if they really want to keep it skill-based. So I guess, see that potentially being a problem. But
yeah. Another thing that they're looking at as they start tuning things is the mercy the mercy games. They say right now mercy rates vary based on the map. Some are as low as 5%, and some are as high as 25%. Jesus. They want the number of mercy games to be under 5% on all maps, but of course they don't want it to be 0. So they will be looking at certain things there as well. They'll be looking at final score differentials, and they're definitely going to be trying to tune less variance between the top player and bottom player, where they say right now 5 to 10% of matches have the best player scoring 30 to 39 or more kills than the worst player in the match, and 50% of matches have the best players getting 20 to 29 more kills than the worst player. So they don't want that. They definitely want a less than 20 kill difference between the best and worst players, which again, if you have such tight numbers, it's good close games, you know? They don't want people to feel, they don't want the less skilled to feel underwhelmed or overwhelmed and feel like it's an impossible task to try and win, or the fact that their win is entirely out of their hands, which, let's face it, in some games it is. But they also don't want the best players to have to feel like all the weight's on their shoulders. So they're definitely looking at it from both perspectives, which 100%, like I said, I agree with this entirely. And they're also even considering fire team sizes. They're going to be looking into that and trying to tune fire team sizes. So there's a lot of exciting stuff that's going to be happening in my book.
Oh, yeah, this is. I mean, I'm excited to hop in and try this. I mean, it's finally coming back. When was it? 2 years ago when they switched, and we had kind of had a. I feel like we had this conversation, and okay, it's all going to connection based now, and I feel like a lot of the streamers were the ones that led that charge, and for lack of just using a funny hipster term, the streamers canceled the skill based matchmaking for us.
Oh, yeah.
and I knew it would come back at some point. And because Bungie tends to, I mean, things go in circles.
Exactly. But here's the thing, though. In this 12, at the very least, they're bringing out numbers. I almost feel like they've probably upped their analytics and really started. I wouldn't doubt if at the moment they brought in connection-based, is when they really started to dig deep on these numbers, really start tracking things. Potentially for that exact plan that, for when they bring it back.
Sin, why do you have nuts in your mouth in the Discord picture?
First of all, that is a squirrel, and I'm eating some awesome butter
you
toffee
shouldn't have said anything.
cashews.
We just have to be. People have to go back and view in the Discord afterwards if they're listening after the fact.
They're going to want to go back and look at it anyway. The thousands of messages later. It'll give them something to go back and read.
Whatever. But yeah, everything you said, Des, what they wrote in the TWAB is exciting news. It sounds like they're being very thoughtful on this. So I haven't honestly seen too much people talking about it on Twitter so far, which is actually kind of good news. Because there's always gonna be some whinies and some coolness, and I know that's kind of weird. I'll refresh here and look, but then again, the people I tend to follow are usually pretty cool. I only see the complaining things if they're retweeting something or responding to something. So maybe there's probably some people that are good at Crucible that might have some concerns, but they don't want to voice them right now because it's probably an unpopular time to voice them, because I bet a lot of people are. The average player is probably excited about this, and Bungie seems to be presenting it very well. They say they're going to go carefully into it. Only one game mode at first. It's light skill-based matchmaking. They have opportunities to tune it. I mean, why not? This is definitely something that they should be doing.
Oh, yeah. This is 100%. We're definitely also going to... I definitely do agree with some degree of connection-based, because, again, going to a connection-based does eliminate a lot of the jankiness that Destiny has had in Crucible in the past. So that's fair. You can't get a perfect skill-based system without a whole lot of jank. So that's entirely fair. But no, yeah, I've always been, like I said, a huge proponent of just applying skill-based matchmaking. So if this is finally the time where, like I said, the vocal minority, that top 1% can just shut up and let it happen, I am all down for it.
And by the way, I give Lady Sin Brittany carte blanche. You have my full permission to be crazy in this channel. Not our other Discord channels, but this one, feel free.
Welcome to the chaos.
Maybe
Also,
just while we're recording, though. I don't know. I'll think about it.
Also, to answer the question, will connection-based help with people who lag switch? No. Because connection-based matchmaking only does its matchmaking as, of course, as you're starting the connection. So it's actually easier to tell when people are lag switching in connection-based matches. So that is fair. But it's not going to help, like, stop it. In fact, I mean, the sweatier the matches get, the more tendency people are probably going to have to lag switch, to be honest. Because again, when things start getting on the line, that's when things start, that's when some people start dipping towards the worst. So it is a give and take system. But, I mean, like I said, at the very least, for the possibility of improving and getting better and just not seeing just awful blowouts. Again, like not having to dread to see some streamer name that you know is amazing. It's like, oh, he's on the other team. Fantastic. I'm just in for whatever makes Crucible a better time overall. And skill-based can definitely do that.
Yeah. It's some fun news we had today. It's really interesting. Like, you never know what little things they drop into the TWAB, and sometimes they'll give us hints ahead of time, like we're going to talk about Crucible something. But I'm trying to remember if maybe they mentioned something, but like, did we really know that this was going to be talked about? And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, this is some really cool news to know ahead of time.
No, the only hint I got was when you messaged me. He's like, well, I guess we're talking about SBMM today. And it's like, yes. Like I said, I live off this conversation. I love it because I don't know. Like I said, I've never been part of a community that's definitely preferred or shunned skill-based matchmaking. But again, I definitely know, at least when it comes to the vocal minority, my views are entirely contrasting to what theirs are.
Well, I'm interested to hear if anyone has any concerns about this, but feel free and let us know in the podcast discussion channel. But I really think, like, just from talking to people and seeing what people have posted, I mean, I know, shout out to Kill a Monkey over in GDC. He was excited to hear this news. He helps with some analytics when they do scrims over there in GDC, and he said that he sees this as a positive, and so and he's one of those better players that could very easily, in theory, be on the bandwagon of, connection-based. So
yeah, for sure. But there's also definitely like 100% those even higher skill that are on this bandwagon. It's just harder to hear them. My favorite like claims to fame was used to be whenever I would make one of these like skill-based matchmaking hot takes on Twitter, back when I actually used to post on Twitter. I would usually get a like or reply from King Koala agreeing with me, which was great because he was amazing at PvP. So yeah.
Yeah, but I know other people, specifically on a podcast, that were kind of more against skill-based matchmaking, if you know who I mean.
Yeah, probably.
Probably, right?
Was it a massive opinion?
A massive opinion. All right. What else do we have on the top? Oh, the Eternity one. That was the one that I didn't vote for,
yes.
But I voted it in my mind.
Yeah. If I would have voted, it would have been for Eternity. So that's fair.
39%.
It was close, actually. Yeah. I mean, considering Eternity won with 39% of votes. Widow's Court was in second with 31, and then Rusted Lands was in third with 30. Holy crap, that was a close vote.
Yeah.
And of course, another prime drop is coming, so if you're primed up, there you go. Nothing super interesting in the known issues that I've seen, other than certain things that are already known. And of course, normal stuff.
So wait,
Videos,
we have 2
cards.
weeks after solstice, right? Because it looks like the card expires on August 9th, they said. So then it's not till the 23rd till the new season.
Yep. Dead game. Content
Dead
right.
game. What are we gonna do?
Dead game. There's no content forever.
Good thing we have a contest going on with stuff.
Right. To keep you interested.
Triumph score.
Nobody cares.
I care
I
a
do.
little bit for.
I go for that.
So last season I didn't care about getting my large bright.
Whoa,
Bright,
words are hard.
Bright dust pile. There we go.
There we go.
This season I'm going for it. Been working on some interesting seasonal challenges. I did the one where you had to do solar effects kills in Vanguard playlists. I ended up doing Skyburners, just hip firing that, and you get the scorch with that. And at first, before I was doing that, I was only like at 12% after trying for a bit, and then once I put Skyburners on, I got it done in like a strike and a half.
Nice.
It was easy, and I haven't even finished that catalyst yet, by the way. So it was good to get a few more Cabal kills. I know I should probably finish that, but no one uses that these days. But I forgot it's actually kind of fun. I was running and I was like, oh, this weapon's kind of fun, actually.
Yeah, it's fun now. I definitely keep saying every time they do like one of these Cabal focused things, like Keitel season a little bit ago, kept thinking like I'd see someone using it, I'm like, oh, I still need to finish that catalyst. Then I never do it.
But yeah, shout out to like soccer and because I don't know if he's in the live show, but I do want to do a GM just one this season so I can get that seasonal challenge checked off too.
Yeah, I see him typing in chat. He said we were talking about the GMs, and I said we did the 3 fairly easy the other day, and he responded very, very easy. So yeah, definitely shout out to him again. Great runs.
But dead game coming up. No, maybe we'll have something. Do you think there's a chance the last week we'll have something? I think it's less than 50%.
It's potential. I'm depending on how my drops go, I might actually myself take another step into GMs. Because I made a very slow realization that Kato will understand. Yeah, remember when they made that change to resilience and like they did a thing to it, and then people were saying they did another thing to it, but then I didn't believe they did the second thing to it because I just remembered that they did the first thing to it. Yeah, they did a thing. They did a thing to resilience, and it is super good now. Like I said, I didn't cover it before in the patch notes because I read over the fact that resilience can increase your flinch resistance. And it's like, okay, I'm done reading that now. Without reading the fact that it actually adds PvE damage reduction, which is massive. So massive to the effect that it can actually, at 100, max out at a 40% damage reduction, apparently, in PvE.
Yeah, 40%, I think I remember. Yep.
Which is dumb.
I know. And we're going to regret this next season when it gets... Well, no, maybe it won't get changed. Sorry, it's not like it's a seasonal mod, but they still could change
it's just how... Yeah, they could drop because 40% seems like a lot. And to be honest, I definitely do want to go up and try to get a 100 resilience build. And I'm going to potentially hop into a GM and see how harsh it is. with this damage reduction, because I mean, I have a theory that this damage reduction, like if you can actually spec into resilience, this is actually like the one thing that could bring more people into doing GMs. Because like
Yeah.
if you can just barely hit that power level, but you can actually get a hold of a high resilience set, like I'll see like how, because I tried it before, like around power level, and it was not fun. So again, I do want to try and get 100 resilience build, and then try again around power level and see how much of a difference it can make, because this could be huge for like in-game content and just like the casual audience essentially.
I'll tell you how noticeable it is, like especially us that have had the 100 resilience and then swapping to the stupid solstice armor. Even just like in strikes, I was like, "What the hell? Why am I dying so easily?" Oh yeah, I'm not playing as safe, and I'm not on my 100 resilience armor.
I mean, that's fair, because like I said, I didn't go into 100 resilience because it's like, it's just flinch. That's all they did to it. But then I went back and read the patch notes, and like after mentioning the flinch changes, PvE damage resistance is like, oh, I stopped reading at flinch. Crap.
Yeah, and how much it even makes the difference. You really need to go for the 100 because the 40% is so much higher than. Okay, even level 9 is pretty darn good, but the level 10 makes such a big difference. I'll tell you, because I'm on level 6 right now with my solstice armor because I didn't min max anything on it, and the difference between 6 and 10 is night and day. It's not even a difference between 1 and 6. The difference is like in the 7, 8, 9, 10. That's where you really get it.
So yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, I do want to give me the 100 build, and like I said, I want to see, because if this can be the difference maker, I mean, there's a lot that can be put back on the table, like potentially challenge mode. Like it's at least possible.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because
I may
yeah,
wait.
I mean, yeah, no, that's 100% fair. It's just because the way, like I said, challenge modes works is like enemies hit harder and they're more accurate. Well, that just sucks. But if they're actually giving us a build craft capability of countering that like principle, that's just fantastic.
Well, and of course, GM is basically challenge mode because you're always capped at
Yeah, well, because you have to reach a power level that's beyond normally attainable.
Yeah.
And this is to go one step beyond.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I definitely want to I want to feel that myself, and I want to see how harsh. Yeah, from my, like I said, especially from my perspective, because I was not keen on GMs. I have not been keen on challenge modes. But if this can change my mind, then I have faith that this is the build that can probably change almost anyone's mind on doing like a lot of this like true in-game content. So stay tuned for that journey.
Yeah, because I think, there's so many things about GMs, and it can be super annoying to just get like one shot by all the time by things here and there, so that the only way to stay alive is, I mean, placement should be the most important thing anyways, and then killing things quickly as they come out, almost like an orchestration of how to take things down. But at the same time, it's like, it would be nice to have a little bit of damage reduction where you can get things done and have at least have a chance where, like, okay, so the funny thing is that shows proof that people that GM a lot, even though yes, it's end game activity, you got to do this, you got to be good at it, but still, most of the time, if there's a cheese, or a better word, a spot exploit to take advantage of the map or the boss, that is always used in GMs. It's like you have to, because why die when you can get the boss done easier?
Yeah,
well, then that comes to my theory of like, well, then why are they making this so hard in the first place? But I get it. It's some damage reduction would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, that goes into the entire like cheese versus exploit like mentality anyway. which I think I described fairly eloquently in one of the discords. I don't even remember which one it was. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, an exploit is just like it's going to be used. Like you said, an exploit is going to be used.
Oh yeah.
There are exploits that are, of course, are like malicious and damaging, and I mean these are the things that are usually deservingly labeled cheese because it's like usually out of bounds or maliciously exploiting like AI pathing to give yourself a safe space, which even then isn't the worst of it, but you know, but yeah, it's like I said in the example I gave in MMOs, there's a thing called kiting, which allows a ranged character to run back and forth in essentially a circular motion, or zigzaggy, or either way, a motion that keeps you safe, and you're exploiting the AI's aggro for you. So they keep chasing you and trying to hit you, but you're speedy enough to outrun them while hitting them with your strength. So I mean, things like that will always exist and will be used because it's there and people are going to do it, and some of them aren't bad but just make it far more possible to do a thing. So
yeah. And of us three, Sin, you've hopped in a couple GMs. Do you feel like they've been any easier at all with the higher resilience that we have now?
I mean, I'm not running 100 on my Titan, or I didn't when we did the 3 the other day. But I didn't find them really. Yeah, I mean that. I was typing in live chat. I definitely need to go back and optimize. One thing I've never done so far, and I know people have done it. Or the
what do you have
100.
on your Titan right now? Do you
think
you got like 9 or 8?
Once, I'm not actually booted in the game. I'm not actually playing on podcast.
Okay.
So this is a monumentous occasion, right? I wasn't sure my internet here could be able to withstand gaming and podcasting, so I went with podcasting. And I believe they're in the 80s. Both my resilience and recovery, both in 80s on that Titan build that I have. I did have it at one point at 100, but switching some stuff in some like items around, I never went back and did the min-maxing with it. But I really do want to go back and do that. I definitely have the materials to do it. It's not like I would be losing a lot by building a bunch of armor and making some new armor sets. But I felt that even at 80, they're doable. Like I didn't feel like I was still getting one shot. Like I would take a little bit of damage. Yeah, I still have a minute to back out or a second to back out, and still be able to complete the encounters. For the most part, I thought it went well. Now, granted, they weren't. What I think one of them is the corrupted that you need for gilding, and I maybe I'm thinking of a different one. But anyway, the 3 ones that we did, one was on the EDZ. One was the one on this rotation this week. Oh man, I ran that one so many times. One with the servitor, the EDZ, and then there was one other one I can't remember. But yeah, Warden. Those ones we did were pretty easy.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious to hop into. I am definitely before the season's over because I want to get at least one done for the seasonal challenge and get a feel for what I think about this. Also, I kind of have a feeling. Yeah, didn't someone also say something will be easier this season? Were they talking in reference to GMs also?
I think I remember Mo saying that he was building into high res, and I think he's one that usually kind of dives into GMs when he's capable of.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Mo saying he was building into resilience is one reason why I went back and checked, because Mo usually doesn't operate off of false intel, so...
Yeah, and yes. It's probably a solo dungeon. Yeah, because resilience and classy restoration, boy, that can keep you alive. I was doing a little bit of solo dungeon the other day. Yeah, staying alive wasn't so hard. I just need to find an optimization now while I do better DPS, because I did not want to be even the first counter boss. It was like, I'm going to have to like 5 or 6 phase this. I'm like, I'm out. I got to figure out a better. And even with that many phases, even with good resilience, you have a chance of dying. You know what I mean? The longer you extend it. So
And on a side note, Brittany, stop trying to make fetch a thing. It's never going to be a thing. Okay? All right.
uh, well, no, those are some good discussions on the resilience, what we're doing. We're there's a dog being pushed in the Discord in the picture. Getting distracted by all that. No other live updates from Sin because you aren't playing the game, huh? But live update in the channel?
Live update from OBX. It's dark out, and I don't really want to go outside and vape because there is still a huge ass spider out there, and I really don't like
Come
it.
on. What do you think? The second you're going to go out, it's going to chase you? Just kind of try
This
to
thing
remember
is huge. Like,
So
and
it
I
doesn't
don't
matter.
mean,
It
like,
move. Doesn't mean it can move fast. It's going to like attach onto you.
okay, it's a no. I don't do spiders. That's one thing I don't do is spiders. Like,
Well, I didn't tell you to do it. I just told you to just go outside and try to remember approximately where it was and just casually walk somewhere else. It's not a
I
big deal.
know where it's at, but that just makes me believe that there are much more of that size of spider around.
Okay, Sen. I guess someone's going to have to rescue you. We're going to have to get the fire department to get you out of there come tomorrow when you have to go out.
We're gonna have to. There's gonna be a moat of fire around this house before I leave.
Whew, all right.
As he said, "Who cares how big the spider is? You can get superpowers from it." I was getting ready to type it out, but I'll just tell you all. I totally told my boy that. So, well, at least if I get bit, I can become Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, careful though. If he was he the age to take that seriously, or
He does like Spider-Man. He
meaning
just
will
kind
he
of
try to
ignored
go out
it.
and
Like
get bit? But
no, he won't. Like he's young and still impressionable, but he won't go out and have a spider bite him. He does not like bug bites, so.
Oh.
well, we will hopefully have Sin with us next week on the episode. Also, for all these listening, stay tuned to see if Sin is still alive.
Right. If not,
Do not make
Spider
that
1 Sin 0.
right. Pet Cemetery Cat. Should I retell my story about the one in my yard that I had to bag?
You don't need to.
We want to go there again, Gato.
He didn't tell you to tell the story again. He was just wondering how it compares. I think, I think Pet Cemetery Cat is worse than the spider. I don't know. I'm not really concerned about spiders. I guess I get it, but I don't want them like crawling on me. But like, if one or two I bump into and crawl me a little bit here and there in my life, I'm not going to freak out about it. I don't know. Just me.
Gato's thinking it doesn't face him, but we can tell it again.
Or how about not?
No, you can tell the story written out in our Patreon
live
channel.
chat.
Or the live chat, yep.
Okay, I'll leave the sloshing goodness of that story to imagination.
Well, people listening to the show, let us know. Yeah, and if you have something else, let us know what you want to get done in the rest of the season, especially if you need a group up. Any dungeons, raids, Crucible stuff, post in the group up channel, and we'll try to help you out if you need a group up. I mean, that'll give us something to do for the next month-ish.
Right.
True story.
Or at the very least, suffer the solstice grind with other people.
Yes.
Can be a thing. But no, watching Sin's meme here, or GIF, rather, reminded me that the history happened not that long ago. The fact that at 77 years old, Vince McMahon has retired from the WWE.
Oh wow!
Which, of course he's under investigation for potential sexual misconduct and paying people company money to keep quiet about said sexual misconduct. But yeah, the day we thought that wrestling fans thought would never happen has come. Vince McMahon has actually stepped down and retired. So if you have not watched wrestling since the good old Attitude Era, the days of Stone Cold and The Rock, might be a decent time to start maybe like looking into it because it might actually get pretty decent again. Just saying.
So speaking of Stone Cold Steve Austin, this one Burning Wing might actually appreciate. I was telling my wife that I really need to get a pair of jorts.
Wait, how's that
And
relate?
I was Stone Cold Steve Austin wore jorts while wrestling.
I don't know as much about that.
No.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
No, you Nimrod. He wore black wrestling trunks.
Hold
Don't
on.
talk to a wrestling fan about wrestling things. He may have wore his shorts in a couple of matches, but he was known for black wrestling trunks, not jorts. You're thinking of John Cena that made a career out of wearing jorts. Thank you, Zebra Cakes.
Look up
Hold
John
on.
Cena, Sin.
That is one Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yes, that's what he wore
Yeah.
outside of wrestling. He wore black trunks while wrestling.
Hold on. Doing some live research here. Was it the
Yes, do the live research for
yeah.
someone that's been watching wrestling for the past 20 years.
But he still wore them. Doesn't mean he just saying he wore them. Didn't mean he necessarily wrestled in them. But I do see that. The black Speedo, yes.
It's not a Speedo, it's wrestling trunks. Jesus.
Whatever.
Speedos are far different.
Yeah, Speedos are
I blame it on
shorter.
Kato.
Speedos have less hip length than those, if you get what I'm saying.
Seriously. I mean, no, it's not much different, but it's still different enough, okay? It's like the difference between a thong and a regular bikini, okay? There is a difference, okay?
There's a difference. There's a difference for sure. A couple inches here and there can make a difference in different ways.
I don't think he can do anything but laugh.
I can't top that.
I mean, right? Like for female bottom swimwear, it can be quite a big difference, a few inches here and there, whether it's considered what normal bikini, this or that, G-string.
Right.
Oh man.
All right.
What are we doing? Yeah.
I don't know. This is going off the rails very quickly.
If we don't have any other Destiny news, we might as well finish up. I was waiting for one piece of information to come to me as confirmation, but it's not 1,000%. But I will still mention it because it just didn't finalize. But they said it would happen. But I'll say that during my sign out. So, Des, where can people find you?
You can find me, of course, on Twitter. Des_Raven. Yeah, that's the place. Jesus, I do not. Brain's failing me now. So yeah, you can find me there on Twitter. Running gag. I still don't have Twitter. You can of course find me on the Discord and in the Discords and doing things. Sin, please save me.
I will save you. You can find me over on Twitter at Sin_media. Sin is CYN. And on onlysins.com, which is not a thing yet. Or over in Discord next to you two lovely gents. Kingsley, Mac, where can they find you?
Well, this is a perfect segue. So speaking of things that are not officially a thing yet, I was going to say you can now find me in all the places as Kingsleymac. So I talked to Twitter. I put in a form, and I'm going to be getting the Kingsleymac name. They told me in an email today, finally, after much back and forth, forms being filled out, proof that I own the Kingsleymac domain, which I do for my website and my email, this and that. I finally got an email back a few hours before the podcast recording saying that they will give me the Kingsleymac Twitter handle, so I don't have to be McKingsley on Twitter. But it's not
You're
live
saying
yet.
you are Kingsley Mac anywhere and everywhere?
Yeah, anywhere and everywhere. So the Kingsleymac person on Twitter, by the way, joined April 2013, never did one tweet. The username was Kingsleymac, but the name they had was McDonald, but spelled weird, like McDonald. And so I don't think they're gonna miss it. But anyways, I figured I would try. I wasn't expecting to get the name, but Twitter said sure. Yeah. So
you heard it here first, folks. Kingsley is ruining people's Twitter career.
I am. Yep.
He's a headhunter. Watch out.
Guess it kind of has to do with those things too. Remember where I had this idea way back in the day when being a tech guy and all, buying up domain names, like before big companies got them. People would do that with like big names, like I don't know specific examples, but like Coca-Cola or McDonald's or things like that. And then there definitely became a point where the U.S. made some laws saying that, well, if you're an actual company and can prove you own that business name, then you can kind of take over the domain. But that didn't happen right away, so some people did become rich off of selling domain names. So, and it was always kind of like it didn't happen every time. But I heard that Twitter would consider it, and I feel like I tried this once several years ago. They're like, no, screw you. You can't do anything about it. But then I looked, I don't know if they changed a policy or whatever, and then I looked at their thing and it said, well, if you have a domain that actually is the exact same as the Twitter name, you can try and go for the thing. And I think also because the guy's not contesting, it's an easy win for me. So
Nice.
Yep. So soon, anywhere and everywhere as Kingsleymac. That's a very long sign out. Sorry about that. But you can find our show anywhere and everywhere as The Guardian Hub, either on Twitter or our lovely website, theguardianhub.com.
That's Tom on the net.
Thank you, Sin. Thank you, Des. And thanks, everyone, for being in the live chat who participated and everyone who's listening to this on your podcast app of choice. And we will talk to you again next week. Have a good one.
Stay fetch.
And those John Cena, I wouldn't even really consider those. I know they're jorts technically, but I think of like the new hipster style where they're shorter and they're kind of like ripped at the bottom and they're kind of like thigh length. These are like the traditional jean shorts that I even probably wore in the 90s, early 90s, right?
We're talking about this is still how I wear my jean shorts.
Right?
Below the knee.
I feel like jean shorts and jorts are two different things, right? Let's hear from Burning Wing. Are they two different things or are they the same thing? Jean shorts and jorts.
Same thing.
Same thing.
I feel like, but jorts are, the idea is ripped jeans. I
No.
know it can be the same thing.
Jean shorts, jorts.
No, I know by the name, but then why did they change the name? And every time I see a picture of jorts online, they usually look like they're tighter and they're just ripped jeans. Usually, that's how I see it. But
I mean, that could also be a fair. Oh, there's a difference. Oh no.
What Philip said, Jinkos. That's what John Cena's wearing right there. It's Jinko short jeans. Weird.
Do you remember?
great. I'm seeing the janty now. I'm seeing the janty now.
I do. Thank you.
I never owned a pair of Jinkos, but I've had friends with Jinkos.
Yeah.
I always wanted a pair of Jinkos. Then I found out later in life how I found out how expensive they were. It's like, oh yeah, never mind.
Yeah. Well, you gotta think there was enough fabric there for like 4 pairs of jeans.
I mean, yeah, fair. I had a friend where I could probably literally crawl into his jean leg.
I've seen it.
Right? And I'm no small dude, so.
If anyone needs some janties, there you go.
Oh God.
Chanties? What the crap is? Oh God, Jesus.
Janties.
You know what?
Jong. What is a jong?
Maybe it's a jong,
mean-
maybe instead of a janty.
I mean, wouldn't those also just be Daisy Dukes?
I
Kind
think
of,
that's
right?
A little more than just Daisy Dukes at that point.
Yeah, Daisy Dukes has a little more material, right? We're talking about a couple inches here and there.
Right.
Oh man.
Also,
Indiana
to be fair,
votes.
considering like she might actually be the poster person for jorts if they are like ripped jeans, because I mean, I think most of hers was indeed ripped,
Yeah.
or at least frayed along the edges. Anyway,
Yeah, the Cena ones look like skater shorts too, like Frenzy wrote. I mean, definitely I had some like those that were like super long and baggy.